truth is no longer factual. It's just whatever you're feeling in any given moment. It seems
that's not the case, dude. Oh my God, dude. They're currently doing it. They're crying about their feelings about the rest of the world not coming to terms with their understanding of the truth. That's literally you crying about your fucking feelings.
Thing for a democratic society, that you move away from fact-based, from science, whatever it may be, to just feel.
Like, nobody wants to move away from fact-based shit. They just made that up. He is 100% right. Ben is so good. Love him. That's a lie. True. Who wants to move away from a fact-based society? You think it's the fucking guys that talk about climate change, a scientific consensus that 99% of scientists believe, or the fucking dudes that are like, no, it's actually fake because I'm being paid by the oil lobby? Who's trying to move away from scientific truth? The people that believe in evolution, or the people that think that it was Adam and Eve? Who's advocating for moving away from a science-based society? These guys have dominated the space so aggressively with their full court press that, like, while they simultaneously destroy books and remove them from public libraries and shit, they make it seem like it's the libtards that want censorship. Ben Shapiro, advocating for anti-BDS laws, has the audacity to fucking claim that he's a free speech defender. That's wild. And so many suckers are duped into believing it as well. I trust Ben over... No, don't ban him. He said I'm overly emotional. He trusts Ben over overly emotional people like myself. No, he had a really good take. I think we're going to have fun with that chatter. Because emotional men are blind and cannot see the truth. Oh, totally, dude. Totally. I'm an overly emotional man. Ben Shapiro, on the other hand, is not emotional at all. Ben Shapiro cries every fucking episode about trans people existing in society and how that's destroying and eviscerating the fucking West. It's not that he is not emotional. It's just that you agree with him. So you don't recognize it when he brings up issues that are complete fucking fabrications. Based, he doesn't scream and cry like you. Yes, he does. And also, you're once again showing that you are nothing more than an animal. Do you have no capacity of understanding the words that are coming out of my mouth? You only can look at shapes and colors, and like the visceral reaction that you have is all that matters? You fucking dingus. You donkey. That's just a self-report that you're a stupid person, that you, unlike most human beings, cannot comprehend anything when you hear someone speak in ways that you don't want to hear them. You're like, oh, well, you're being a little emotional about, like, I don't know, trans people being fucking legislated away from existence. Like, yeah, that's okay. I guess that undermines my point then. No, it doesn't. You, unfortunately, are too stupid. And you're admitting that you're stupid. You're doing the thing that conservatives do all the time, vice signaling. And not only that, but you're also signaling that you're a fucking stupid person. Yeah, you say a whole bunch of nothing. You say a whole bunch of stuff that has no meaning behind it. No, I say a lot of things that have meaning behind them. You're too stupid to understand it, unfortunately. You are blind and cannot see. Okay, just stop writing shit in the chat and just take a deep breath and listen to the words. And maybe then, instead of spitting out reactions like a fucking chatbot, you might be able to comprehend some of the things, at least some of the things, not all of them, but at least some of the things that I'm bringing up. You can reban me if you get too emotional, brother. Aw. The classic, did I trigger you take? No, you didn't. This is an unfortunate problem with a lot of people who fancy themselves to be edgelords. They'll go, are you triggered, libtard? Meanwhile, you are scared that society is changing at a pace that you cannot comprehend because unfortunately you're too backwards to just let it happen.
We could have looked at data from various areas of the world. Where have regulations been effective? Where have they not been effective? What are, as I said on the show, actually, at the time, I believe, like, what are the risks and rewards of particular policies? That's where the good discussion area, I think, gets done.
Yeah, except you never have that. Like, everything Ben is talking about how the left is or whatever, is exactly what he does. And the only time he brings up evidence is when he's cherry-picking shit to disingenuously frame an argument. If he truly cared about the data, he wouldn't be advocating for the side he's advocating for. agree with literally anything Ben says, or, I mean, I don't know. Probably not. I'm sure there's something I agree as far as what Ben talks about, but as far as his political perspective, no, not really. Hasn't Ben shown data before in debates? Yes. That's why I said he loves to cherry pick data. Like, what did he do the other day? We were watching a video. Bro said your hatred blinds you. Because your hatred blinds you. I don't really hate Ben Shapiro. I think he's a fucking loser, really. Oh, yeah. Yeah. He said, yeah. The rate of black arrests. Yeah, I remember. Did he say a higher rate of white people are killed by cops? And then corrected himself and went, I mean a higher number. Because, you know, he almost accidentally fucking revealed the truth. Yes, police kill more white people in this country. There are more white people in this country. But police kill black people at a disproportionate rate, a much higher rate. That's the problem. Ben doesn't want to even bring that up because that's a harder argument to argue against. And this is why you, my friend, are a Ben Shapiro fan. You're slowly but surely revealing your own personal biases. Maybe because they are committing out-of-control crimes. What does that mean? Just look around you and on the news. Notice how you gave zero empirical evidence to follow up on anything you mentioned. But I know you don't want to see that, so you act like it doesn't exist. See, not only did you have zero evidence to back up your statement, you didn't even have an anecdote that you could point to. So you just said, no, it's happening all around you. And then you made an additional inference that, like, I also am refusing to see it happen all around me. This makes you seem like a fucking idiot. I don't want to think that you're an idiot, but you sound like a fucking idiot. Bro, it's all over Twitter, everywhere. Do you just ignore it? Things that you see on social media are not evidence. If you think that this is a non-emotional argument that you're making, I don't know what to tell you. Where is the facts over feelings? All actors, I guess, then. No, that's not what I'm saying. I don't know if you know this, but our algorithms are highly personalized. It's like Benny Johnson saying, why am I getting an ad for a gay cruise on the Army website? Well, it's your cookies that is serving you that ad. The only thing you tell me is when you see a lot of black crime that's out of control that you see on your Twitter feed is that that's what you like looking at, and that's what the algorithm has decided you like looking at, so they keep showing you that over and over again. If you're a dumbass, you see that and you go, wow, black crime sure seems out of control. What you're seeing is a minor snapshot, and unless you are someone who has the processing power of a fucking sea cucumber, you should be able to recognize that what you see is never the full picture. If you think that your own highly personalized, algorithm-backed social media feed is indicative of what's going on around the entire planet, we have some real issues. I hope he went away to Google to come back with some good counters here.
What we need is more alacrity from the cops. I mean, how many of these mass shootings have we seen where there are
The news
1,000
isn't
red
my
flags
algorithm.
and the cops
Okay.
go to the house and then they're
Bro, here, the argument that you're supposed to be making in this regard, if you want to talk about like black people that are doing more crime or whatever, is the common trope, the 1350 trope. According to FBI arrest records, 13% of the population, black people, are responsible for 50% of the arrests. Now, of course, the reason for why that is over-policing to begin with. So if you want to make a better argument to be a better racist in the future, you can at least come to me and say, try arguing against FBI crime statistics, libtard. Those are arrest numbers, not conviction numbers. An arrest does not mean conviction. Black people are over-policed on top of getting arrested for false charges way, way more frequently than fucking white people. As a matter of fact, if you look at real studies that pertain to, let's say, drug usage, for example, black people and white people use drugs, weed, let's use weed, at the exact same rate. As a matter of fact, sometimes white people use weed at a higher rate than black people, and yet black people get arrested for minor possession charges at, I think, 4 times higher rate than white people do. This is a consequence of over policing black people. It's a consequence of things like stop and frisk policies. It's a consequence of racial biases in the way that policing works and operates in the system. They serve harsher sentences, longer sentences. They serve more time. They have less legal recourse. And this is before we even talk about the other side of systemic racism, like redlining in the Jim Crow North or just straight up segregation in the Jim Crow South. If they didn't commit the crimes, would they do the time? You are failing to understand the words that I'm using. So there's way more white people, but white and black people use the same amount of drugs? No, at the same rate, as in 10 out of every 100 black person, 10 out of every 100 white person. So if I were to say the totality, then yes, there would be more white people that are consuming drugs than black people. That's not what we're talking about. Oh my God. If they didn't commit the crimes, would they do the time is not an argument when we are talking about two groups of people that are doing the same crime at the same rate and one group of people getting longer sentences and getting arrested at a higher rate. Okay? That is where disproportionate policing comes from. That's why we say black neighborhoods are occupied by police forces. They do the same time for the same crime? No, they do not. As a matter of fact, sentencing disparity is also absolutely a part of the law. The sentencing disparity between crack cocaine and just straight up cocaine existed. So even that's not true. That's not even true. You're not understanding what I'm saying to you. I hope this is an educational moment for you. I hope you understand what I'm saying, okay? Anytime I'm being charitable to a chatter like this, understand that there are thousands of other people like that chatter that are also in here that want to learn, okay? Can you give me an example of a black person being sentenced longer than a white person for the same crime? You are once again looking at individual examples. Individual anecdotes is not an adequate substitute for data. Of course, I can give you an example of a black person's sentence being longer than a white person for the same crime, but that wouldn't mean anything because the way to disprove that, again, would be to give you an example of a white person doing a longer sentence than a black person for the same crime. But that wouldn't actually prove the point, would it? You have to look at empirical evidence. You have to look at statistics to get a full scope of the picture. Young black and Latino males tend to be sentenced more severely than comparably situated white males, which means from a similar economic background. Unemployed black males tend to be sentenced more severely than comparably situated white males. This is analyzing crime and sentencing data to give you this as evidence, okay? And this is from 2005. It's fucking, but doesn't that mean that black and Latino males are committing more crimes? That's why they're being sentenced more? No, chatter. Okay, I'm close to fucking losing my patience. It's the same crime. They're doing the same crimes. They're not doing more. It's the same crimes that they're committing. You have to be trolling, right? Do you not understand this? I don't think this person is being obtuse purposefully. Yeah, as for the look around you, the news and media show more black crime than any other crime, altering perception. Absolutely. What does it mean then? It means what I've told you it means. It means that white people and black people, when factoring in their socioeconomic conditions, as in like where they are in life, when factoring in the crime that they have committed, are doing the same crime but not doing the same time. Because the criminal justice system somehow, for some reason, keeps giving longer sentences to black people. That somehow, some reason, is systemic racism. I'm telling you what the reason is. You're denying the existence of that reason. I'm giving you the evidence, and then you, I think, are failing to comprehend it. So who got a longer sentence than a white man? You didn't give an example of that happening. Oh, my God. A study is kind of like not one example, but like thousands of that example put together. Do you know what a study is? Do you know what that is? It's like a bunch of anecdotes that they put together and compiled so that they could get a better understanding of how systems work, because we are unfortunately very biased, and anecdotes can be clouded by bias. There's many different biases, like recency bias, or maybe you see something a lot in your fucking Twitter feed and you think that that is the case. So we look for an adequate sample size, and that's how we conduct a study. You know, people make up studies, right? Exactly. Just one example, please. Bro, you don't even have a study. If there's thousands, you should be able to name one easy. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Okay. No. He's baiting me. He's baiting me. Okay. Never mind. All right, man. I tried. You look really bad right now. Brother, I know you're too stupid to understand this, but it's not me who looks really bad. But I don't think you'll ever recognize how insanely stupid you look right now. Yes, do the insult and ban thing and move on to the video. No, I'm gonna keep you going. I tried. I'm giving you a study and you said, give me one example. That's so sad. I gave you facts and you said, well, I want it to correspond to my feelings, and it doesn't correspond to my feelings. He said studies lie all the time, but he thinks looking at videos on his Twitter timeline is the actual facts. There's nothing you can do in that situation. How do you combat people just make up studies all the time? I hear that all the time because it's false. No, they don't. There's an academic process and a way to conduct this, okay? If that was the case, there would be no science on anything, okay? And if you think studies fucking lie all the time, then why the fuck what will convince you? Nothing. Ben Shapiro does not care about facts. He cares about feelings. You agree with Ben, and you think he's feeding you facts, so you get comfortable listening to him.